guys, hi everyone, it's me again, and today guys I'm going to be talking about the origins of, well, people refer it to a religion, but it's more of a belief system. Today I'm going to be telling you about the origins of my belief system, which is Wicca. So many people refer to Wicca as the old religion. Some people will even say that it was a belief system that was passed down through the centuries and was kept secret during the time that the Christian church went around prosecuting pagans. And it wasn't until when we emerged into a more modern time where we weren't really executing witches and stuff anymore, that they felt it was safe to be able to reveal, for the pagans to be able to reveal themselves and be able to practice safely in public without being prosecuted for being who they are. It's this impression that usually attracts some people to Wicca, but today I'm going to be telling you about the true origins of Wicca and where the religion really came from. So it originated back in the mid 20th century, although the traditions of Wicca are drawn from much more ancient traditions. Wicca came from an English civil servant and author named Gerald Gardner, who was born in 1884. Gerald spent a lot of his youth travelling abroad and was interested in archaeology, folklore and spiritualism and other related subjects. He became a part of several clubs and societies related to these interests. It was these clubs that he met an even more secretive group who revealed to Gardner that they were a coven of witches. He joined the coven in September of 1939. Several years earlier, in the 1920s, a popular theory had been travelling around of an ancient pagan religion that had been nearly stamped out by Christianity, but was still being practiced secretly throughout Western Europe. Margaret Murray was the one who came up with this theory, and she labelled this pagan religion as a witch cult, and stated that the surviving practitioners practiced in covens of 13 members. When Gardner discovered this coven of witches, he believed that these witches were the people that Margaret was speaking of. And he wanted to do his bit to make sure that this coven would survive the 20th century. During the 1940s, Gerald was became even more increasingly interested in a wide range of religious and spiritual traditions. He was deeply impacted by his experiences that had occurred with the New Forest Coven, and had decided to form his own coven. He named this coven Wicca. This coven he created. He then formed a new belief system that was based upon ancient practices and theories, and a wide range of different sources, which included the belief of the New Forest Coven and ceremonial magic, and the work of other pagan figures such as Aleister Crowley and Cecil Williamson. Jared also included the worship of gods and goddesses, which made his religion very different to other religions at that time, because in Jared's belief system he had goddesses and gods which were all equal levels to each other, where most religions at that time had kind of like male gods who were like on top and female gods that were like lesser than them, where in his belief system the male and the female gods and goddesses were all equal. Although Gardner did not call this belief system Wicca, apparently the followers of his coven, however, were known as the Wicca, Old English term for sorcerers or skilled people in divination. But the tradition itself was referred to as witchcraft, or often the craft for short. It wasn't referred to Wicca itself until at least another 10 years after it was formed. Then it began to spread to the US and Australia. By then, new variations of Gardner's creation had been developed by his followers, and some of which barely resembled the original Wicca coven. In fact, there are followers who still follow the Wicca coven traditions in the UK today, and who have passed the knowledge of the Wicca coven from covener to covener, and they refer themselves to as the British traditional witchcrafters, and they refer Wiccan as an American version. However, elsewhere in the world, they are known as Gardnerian Wiccans. Much of Gardner's inspiration came from ideas and practices that were developed by several pagan groups dating back to the 19th century, who worked with practices that dated back to the 13th century, and their practices and the practitioners back then were actually using more ancient forms of magic. This means that there is some kind of spiritual lineage that has survived all these years and was strong enough to survive through the centuries of the Christian persecution. And this, as we now know, has reappeared in modern times and is now widely practiced throughout the world. And now witches no longer have to live in fear of being persecuted by people who obviously weren't able to understand our beliefs, so they're ranked us as evil and Satan worshippers and feared us because they weren't able to understand our beliefs. And I feel nowadays, well, I hope nowadays there is a better understanding of Wiccan beliefs and practices, and we're not like frowned upon like what we were back then. And now people are able to share their beliefs and values like to the public without being feared of being hurt or killed or persecuted against. And for those who practice Wicca, it is a wonderful and spiritual experience for all those who practice it. And I'm sure that many of Wiccans who you speak to will tell you this. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this gave like people a lot of information who maybe didn't know a lot about this, like more information on it. If you have questions like that you want to know the answer to about Wicca or about witchcraft or anything relating to that, don't be scared to ask me. Just comment below and I will try to answer your questions as best as I can. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. If you'd like more videos like this, then please comment down below. Also, don't forget to click on that notification bell so that you'll be notified when my next video comes out. Also, don't forget to like this video. I've also got a Twitter account, which if you go down in my description below and click the link, that will take you to my Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter, and thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.